Boy, I know folks heated talking about some. I know he ain't put no countdown on here when we ain't starting at no 10 o'clock. I know he didn't put a countdown of 30 more seconds when y'all ain't starting until 10 o'clock at night. We have to. This thing called consistency. We got to make sure that we keep it together. Welcome in to Dirty Birds Draft HQ, everybody, man. I'm one of your hosts, Saivion Mixon. Our guy Hunter Thompson couldn't come in today, so to save the day, once again, our guy Cracker Jack on Twitter. My boy Jack, how you feeling today, my man?
Pretty good, pretty good. Typically this is the wind down part for bed, but you know what? Twas the night before Falcons preseason football. You know,
And all through the house. Come on, man. Couldn't
all through the
couldn't
house,
hear nothing.
couldn't hear
Not
nothing,
even a mouse.
not even a mouse.
Man, we really got Falcons football coming on, man. I,
Mm,
I don't I don't know how to react. I understand that, the whole thing with the starters, we finally get to see the starters again. I think this is gonna
mm.
be the first time since 16 or 17, I think. It's been a while.
Oh, uh, did Mariota in that cast of characters ever get one or no?
Did they?
Because I mean
They
that
might
you
have
know that
slid
I
one.
mean that was like the Falcons rendition of the Suicide Squad that they trotted out there with Mariota for a few games. At least I mean I think you are right as far as like the first preseason game of like the starters getting reps. I do
I
think it
think that's what
probably
I'm
is the first time since like 2016 or 17 that this has been the case.
But I know, but I think you're right. I think Mariota did get a nod because I think Arthur Smith was getting a lot of heat about it for the year before then that they didn't and they came out slow. So I think you're right.
Yeah, yeah, because that first game versus the Eagles, the infamous Matt Ryan laid on the turf, Jalen Mayfield
Oh,
like a sad kid on Christmas. You know, that's that's
I'm
ball, baby.
I'm my theory when it comes to that is Matt Ryan felt what it felt like to not have a left guard. And so
Mhm,
he's like, hey, whatever, this guy is at least solid. We're gonna go ahead and just get that taken care of. I don't
mhm,
want anybody to feel what I felt back
mhm.
in 2020.
Well, I mean,
Was
shoot,
that
like I mean, his
2021? Yeah.
first, if I'm not mistaken, his first, first and only trade request was to the team with the best left guard in the league at the time. So
Hmm. For sure.
yeah,
I mean,
he
I'm
learned a
just
lot.
saying
You
that
know,
the
he learned a
evidence
lot.
is mounting. That's all I'm saying.
Is Mayfield even in the league anymore? Is he in the league?
I sure hope not. I
Yeah,
sure
for
hope
the
he's
for the
out.
for the safety and health of any quarterback protected.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Terrible.
But no, man. I got Dakota had to call us out. I appreciate it. Yep, we are running a little late.
Apologies. That's
Real, yeah. Apologies, man. But like life happens, man. But we're still here. We're still talking Falcons football. And first thing we got to talk about is depth charts came out today, man.
mm-hmm. I
Initial
did.
depth chart came out. I mean, just get right into it, Jack. What surprised you? Did anything surprise you from this first depth chart?
I mean, sure enough, I got it pulled up on the desktop right now. First things first is Michael Jarrell, starting right tackle for the first team. That's the
Hmm.
first thing. I mean, at least as far as the ones go, that's the one that jumped out to me the most is that Gerald was going to be the starter at right. I would say for the second unit is Layden Robinson. Go ahead and jumping into the second unit already. I
Yeah,
mean, he's only been here what 48 hours maybe.
if that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that those two at least as far as the offense are the ones that jump out. And I guess on the defensive side, and I mean I knew that he was flashing a little bit in camp based on some of the write ups, but Mason Smith already jumping into the front line rotation on the defense.
Hmm.
That's that surprised me. Honestly, I thought it would be Zach. I really did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Biggest thing on the defensive end for me was, well, the defensive end, Brandon Dorless. I mean, just
Mhm.
seeing him on the outside, I'm just like, okay, so this is we're really going to be stretching and seeing how much versatility Brandon Dorless has because the only time we've seen him is as three tech. He'll maybe go out a little bit further. We've never seen him as the end guy on the line though. So this is going to be something to really behold. And of course, Darnay Holmes coming in nickel. I mean, from all of the talk of training camp, you knew that he was balling out. You knew that he was doing his thing to get there. But you would think even with Avion Terrell there, they would want to see what that looks like, given that they gave up such a high
Hmm.
draft for him. That's it. That's the first pick of this regime's, you know, tenure. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, other than that, everything else is pretty standard. You love to see Kendall Daniels and Harold Perkins kind of just sitting there as the second string linebackers.
Yeah,
I mean,
I hope they get a lot of PT after that first team defense gets off the field. I hope they get pretty much
mhm,
all of the first and like even even if they wanted to eat into like the middle of the second half,
mhm,
run it. Like give them all the PT as humanly possible. Like that's
absolutely.
what I want.
Absolutely. Another big thing I saw was Tyler Goodson. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? He's already pretty much snatched up the
Hmm.
running back three spot. Looking through this again, I gotta say I'm pretty excited to see Juice Wells snaps tomorrow. Like that's gonna be a lot of fun. Juice Wells and Vinny Anthony. I think both of those guys are gonna be pretty fun with Jack Strand and simply just Jack Strand. Like Jack Strand and Cooper Rush coming in. I mean, of course you see Michael Penix is at the back, but they did this weird thing with the depth chart this year where they had this injured player and they put him just all the way in the back. I guess they don't want to like show their hand or anything like that. I don't know, but
Yeah. Kind of sort of losing you on the audio. I mean, I caught a little bit of a glimpse as far as like the Cooper Rush Jack Strand conversation. I mean, I
hmm
know that Stefanski said that, they were going to let the starters roll. I think it was like 10 plays is what they had scripted for them, and then they were getting them out of there.
right.
Um, so I mean, I would assume that more than likely after those 10, Rush is going to come in, probably get into it in the second half, and then I would assume following that, it would be more than likely Strand for majority of the second half. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, they might let Rush play into a little bit of the second half, but in all
hmm
honesty, more than likely is probably going to be mostly, or at least I hope it's mostly Strand reps. For majority of the second half, anyways.
Yeah, I think Strand is going to be really trying to figure out if he can stay on here as a practice squad player. Can you hear me a little bit better now?
It's kind of choppy in a way,
Iffy.
but I mean, I get the gist of it.
hmm
I can get the gist of it.
Trying to have a conversation here, man. I don't know what it is with these doggone headphones.
Got
Um,
it.
gotta love it, man. Also, the kick return battle.
Hmm.
Brian Robinson Jr.
Hmm.
Thoughts on that? I mean, I'm okay with that. Brian Robinson and Tyler Goodson,
Yeah.
both of the guys. I
Um,
mean, that feels good to me.
yeah. I mean, I think, and I know me and Hunter, I think, touched on it last time I was on with like how the kick return battle and like kind of what shakes out between all the running backs, which I know we brought in Trey Sermon, just to kind of
hmm
compete for one of those spots. But I mean, as far as like the actual kick return stuff, I mean, I would presume probably Goodson is the guy that they're going to turn to because, like, I mean, I think more than anything, Bijan's obviously going to be your bell cow. Brian's probably going to have a role in short yardage, and Tyler's really
hmm
going to stick on as your kick returner.
hmm
So like, if Tyler isn't that, then I mean, at least in my opinion, he doesn't serve like a major role on the roster, especially given that they brought in Cash Jones as a primary UDFA,
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you want to like, because I mean, obviously, knock on wood, like if Bijan was to be out for a game or two, whatever, during the regular season, obviously
hmm
Brian would probably take your bulk load of the carries, and then from there, it's probably going to be a platoon of like your Sermons, Jones, Carter, Goodson, kind of eating up the rest of the mop up duty. But to me, of that group, as far as like pass catching, out of the backfield, yak work, like Cash is probably the guy that you want to call upon out of that group um, for that. But then again, if Tyler's simply just a better returner, more than likely, I would assume Tyler sticks on as your third running back, and then Cash probably gets stashed on practice squad. Or at least that's kind of how I got it mapped out in my head. And then of course, you never know what the man killer Nathan Carter is going to do when it comes to preseason football. I've been trying to get that one to stick for a while just because of the
Yeah, it
yeah,
feels good. It feels good. I like that. The man killer. That's
the
you know
man
what, man?
killer,
I'm gonna do everything in my power to make that one stick. I love that.
the man killer.
Um,
Unfortunate, but I mean, he does have a
yeah, I
rep.
mean, he has a reputation, so I mean, that's what can you do, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man. So big, big stipulations tomorrow. What is the top battle? What is the top training camp battle that you're looking forward to sort of seeing play out on the field?
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming come tomorrow, and I mean, I know, I mentioned it, and I mean, I guess I'll do like one for each side of the ball.
Mm,
I'm, I can't imagine Jesse's going to play tomorrow. I can't imagine
no.
Jesse's even going to suit up. So, like to me, my eyes are instantly drawn to the guys behind Bates and Watts, kind of battling out for
Hmm.
the safety 3 and safety 4 spot. So your Halls, Browns, Helms, like those guys. Jamie, he's probably in that conversation as well. And
Hmm.
then on the offensive side, it is the wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 battle. Because it seems, at least of recent reports, that Vinny Anthony has kind of started finding the ball, getting to him, getting kind of funneled to him in 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s, even some red zone
Hmm.
work. I've seen where I think he scored like 2 touchdowns in red zone periods over the last 2 days, and I want to say he scored when they were at the high school thing too.
Hmm.
So for me, it's probably Vinny, and then obviously him kind of competing with your, obviously Zachariah Branch, Dylan Drummond, guys like that, Chris Blair, Antoine Wells, all those guys, kind of
Yep.
kind of crafting it out for the last few receiver spots. Because, I mean, outside of Drake, Ozzie, and Dotson, I mean, obviously Branch is going to hold down a roster spot, but like outside of those core four, like you probably got two other receiver spots that are going to be open for one of
Right.
these, for some of these guys to take. So we'll
Like
see.
it. Yeah, I think that to piggyback on that, I think number one, Benny Anthony. I think they said that he got the second most receptions throughout camp right now. That is
Hmm.
insane to think about from a guy that, like you said, is just a UDFA coming on, just trying to find his way, trying to find his fitting on here. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I think there's only about two spots there. You got Juice Wells, Vinny Anthony, Keelan Marion, Dylan Drummond's trying to figure out his way onto the roster.
Hmm.
I don't know. I think that's a good one to put on. My big one, I want to see how good Ethan Onyongo actually is. I want to see what the hype is because apparently he's been getting a lot of talk about camp. So I want to
Hmm.
see if he's just a guy that, he's only getting this kind of talk because he's showing flashes and we have Bill Callahan, or is he
Hmm.
like a legitimate like, oh, this guy may actually see some
Hmm.
not some run this year, but like let's say some injuries happen, which we had bad injury luck last year, but over the past like 5 years collectively, I say we had some really good injury luck. Knock on
Pretty
wood.
lucky. Pretty lucky for
But
sure.
like let's say that it gets to a point where it gets like really bad. Could we rely on this person? So
Hmm.
essentially looking at that on the offensive side. On the defensive side, what cornerback's going to step up?
Hmm.
What cornerback's going to step up and take one of these last couple of spots? There's C.J. Henderson, Kobe Bryant. Um, Let me look on here. They have Jamie Robinson lined up as a cornerback. I don't know if that'll work. Um,
Slot,
but yeah,
slot, slot defender more than likely, if anything. And
that's what I was. So that must mean that they just have that many slot defenders on there.
mhm.
Um, Good Lord, that's a lot. That's five guys competing for the nickel spot. Um, so yeah, and Malcolm DeWalt, which is another UDFA. So yeah, just seeing which one of these guys come out and like actually like takes that next step to play. No shot, this person's doing this.
Got the dog barking. Let's go.
Man, oh, gosh, he does this every night.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, so just to see which one of those corners step up and makes their way onto the roster.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the cornerback battle, um, and I mean, I know Stefanski said that like one of the media admins kind of set this depth chart, based on like what they've done in practice or whatever. So like this isn't like a true coaching depth chart by no means, but just kind of reshuffling the deck in like the safety and cornerback room. I would assume based on play that we've seen from both of these guys, Darren Hall's likely not playing safety
Yeah, nah.
on Friday, and Jamie's more than likely not playing like boundary corner, based
Mm-mm.
on the depth chart. And I mean, honestly, I would truly be surprised if Mike Ford plays at all on defense. Honestly,
Yeah.
that would shock me if they actually gave him earnest reps as a defender during this game. Just because you've got
Mm-mm.
so many guys that you really truly need to get eyes on between AJ Woods, CJ Henderson, Clark Phillips is battling for a roster spot. Obviously, you're going to want to get
Mm-mm.
Avian out there for a good chunk of time. Darnay Holmes is probably going to be out there at least for the first half for a good bit. Of course, you got Darren back in the fold. Kobe Bryant's battling for a roster spot. Like, there's just a lot of secondary pieces. And of course, like you said, Malcolm D. Walt is out there too. I just
Mm-hmm.
don't really see much of a reason to throw Mike Ford out there, knowing that you're not keeping him on this roster. Even if you wanted to make that decision, you're not keeping that based on his coverage acumen. That's not
Right.
something we need to see in the big old 2026. You're not keeping Mike Ford on this roster
He's
for.
not developing anything. Yeah.
No, yeah, like if anything, you should probably defer to your Natrons, your Kobe's, your AJ's, Avians, like all them younger guys, that you can actually get a proper look at to see if they can hold down a roster spot. Because like the top line of the secondary is pretty much set. Like, I mean, we know what it
It's
is. Like it's.
possibly the best secondary in the NFL, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I mean it's AJ, Jesse, Watts, Hughes, and then whoever is your favorite slot defender. I'm sure everybody that watches the podcast or is rooting for the Falcons this year is probably begging for Avian Terrell. But like that's probably your five. And if it's not Avian, it's more than likely Darnay. So there's your secondary. And then really outside of that, it's what can you put to kind of give you the depth behind that in the event one of those guys was to be out of the lineup or whatever.
Mm.
And Mike Ford fitting into that equation. Nah.
Just doesn't. Yeah.
We're
Just doesn't
good.
make sense.
Thanks, love,
It
but
just doesn't make
we're
sense.
good. I'm good. Yeah. Which also I did think it was interesting.
Mhm.
And I mean I guess that they're just kind of I don't know, I guess boarding up for it or whatever. But James Pierce being the third stringer got a chuckle out of
That's
me.
his. That's hysterical. I mean, what can you do though? I mean, he's kind
Yeah.
of has to be.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Well, I mean, here's probably a fun question. Does he get
I'm
playing
listening.
time?
I don't think you play him. There's no point. I mean, well, hold on,
You see what I mean? Do you play?
hold on, because I mean, you're probably not playing for the first 2 months.
Mm, no.
What what's the harm? Now that you say that, yeah, what's the harm?
I mean, granted, I'm not saying he has to play like deep into the game, but like after the first unit of guys gets out,
Why
you
not?
know, like because I mean, more than likely, at least what I'm assuming is based on Athletic Report, if that's a reliable source to anybody watching the podcast. I should
I think
probably
that's more
preface.
so. I think that's more so speculation from what he's seen. But Jason Kendall's
Mhm.
been doing this for a while, so take it with a grain of salt, but also take it with the fact that this is a seasoned reporter reporting
Mhm.
his thoughts. So it's more speculative, but it's yeah.
And I mean, if it's 8 games as reported, I mean, that's kind of like trading for an edge rusher at the trade deadline in a way. But if it is 8 games, I would imagine even when he gets back in week
9. I think I said, yeah.
9. Yeah, which I mean, I know we got a bye week somewhere in there that's close to that. So if it's week 10 or whatever,
It's that. Mhm.
you know, uh, I mean, is James really going to be immediately back with the first unit? Maybe. I mean, I guess it depends on the result of the actual starters that we have. But I
Mhm.
mean, even if he is with the first unit, I would imagine that he's going to be on a pretty heavy snap count for the first 2 games so he can get back up to playing shape. And then after that, you can take off you know the chains after the bye week or whatever. Um, so
Mhm.
I mean, I don't, because I mean, like, if you was to put him with the second unit of guys that comes out there after Cam Thomas and Dorless get off the field, he's more likely going to be out there with Zach Harrison.
Right.
Probably going to be out there with a guy like Deshaun Hand or
Mhm.
Mason Smith, depending on which one is required to take a little bit more snaps. Because by all accounts, it seems like Lakel's going to get a lot of reps with the ones.
As he
So
should.
yeah, and then obviously you got Samson, Aziz, and Braylon that are out there with him, and then he would be the fourth edge in that rotation.
Mhm.
So if that's what it is, and he's with the second unit, I mean, that's more than likely a bunch of guys that are going to be on the second unit or in that rotation by the time that he gets back. So kind of giving him the opportunity to kind of build the chemistry with actual live game reps makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But I also get wanting to protect your asset because you've already lost one. So like, but like you said, I mean, even if he was to get like a minor tweak of something,
He's
he's
got
gonna
plenty of
be out.
time.
Yeah, like he's gonna be out 2 to 3 months anyway. So I mean, does
Mhm.
it matter that much? I don't know. And I mean, like, I mean, I guess it's probably decent practice to look because we got what the Broncos, right? Who we're playing.
So it was, yeah, Broncos.
I mean, I guess it would be good form for us to take a peek at who the Broncos
We
backup
keep
tackle
saying
are.
tomorrow. It's on Friday.
Friday. Yeah, sorry.
It's on
I'm
Friday.
just eager to
Yeah,
watch it. But yeah, I mean, you're talking about guys like Matt Pert, Alex. I ain't even going to attempt to pronounce that last name.
I wouldn't.
Um, but I mean, you got Pert, you got Crum. Both those guys were on the roster, I think, last year for Denver. So I mean, it's not bad reps per se to go up against Denver's twos because I mean,
Hmm.
I severely doubt Sean Payton. I mean, he hasn't really typically been one to leave his starters in for a long period of time. But I mean, I would assume probably at least similar to us, probably 10, 15 plays, something like that, and they'll get out of there.
Right.
I don't know if that's been announced or not, but I mean, typically based on history, that's what, at least when he was with the Saints, that's something that Sean would do. Like, I mean, he'd typically give Breeze and the gang a drive or two and then, yank them. So,
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, granted, Denver is a younger team than that later iterations of the Saints team, so maybe he lets them ride for a quarter or something, and maybe you get to see a few reps of McGlinchey versus James Pierce.
Which would be
Not bad.
fantastic if we get that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath.
Mhm.
Just to go off of your get off the speculation from Kendall. If it is an 8 game suspension, that means his first game would be back against the Cincinnati Bengals in Spain. And then
Interesting.
you go
Wow.
to Cincinnati Bengals, Kansas City Chiefs, both at home, technically,
Mm-hmm.
and then the bye week.
Then the bottom.
Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, first of all, both of those offenses are projected to be insane. I mean, those are
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely that's probably what the number one, number two quarterbacks in the NFL are
Mm-hmm.
projected to be right now, if depending on where you are on Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But they're in that top tier. So, I mean, to get him back for those games would be great. Um, but overall, I do agree with what you're saying. I think that, getting him some reps. When I
Mm-hmm.
came into the conversation, I was like, there's no reason to. I mean, there's no point. You're not going to see him. But then you think about it, it's like, well, you don't want him to be that rusty. I mean, what's a couple of reps if he's just going to have 2 months to just sort of take off any what is it, any injury that he may have. Now, I will say that, like you said, you have already lost one of these assets from that draft.
Hmm.
So I'm sure that's in the back of your mind when you do this. But it, either
Yeah.
you can sit here and talk yourself into circles about it. It's just
Yeah.
end of the day, how much do you really want to risk it? And
Good.
good. So yeah, end of the day is how much do you really want to risk it?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, no doubt. And I mean, like, I'm sure, I mean, even if he is exempt from the game, and I mean, obviously, we already touched on Jesse. Like, I mean, I really severely doubt that we see Jesse tomorrow, or not
At
tomorrow,
all.
Friday. But like,
Hmm.
aside from that, like, Jake typically isn't suiting up for preseason. So, like, I wouldn't imagine that Jake would. More than likely, probably some Wanya reps there, but like,
For sure.
I mean, you got some top level investments that might not see the field for too long, like Lindstrom, obviously Bijan, you just paid, London, Pitts. I can't imagine they're going to get, a ton of reps. I mean, like, would I love to see the
Yeah.
offense just for a drive? Yes, actually, I would, I
Hmm.
would, I would actually very much prefer that, to see them just operate for a drive. And
Yeah.
then
Just to
whatever the result is, whatever.
yeah, just to get everybody excited, you know what I'm saying? Get everybody, you know, to get a glimpse of like, hey, what could this like really be?
Hmm.
Of
Well, I
number
mean,
one with mhm.
expectations are all over the place for this iteration of the roster anyways, so like, just sprinkling in a little razzle dazzle, just for the folks back home, I mean, come on, man,
Speaking of expectations, somebody did a season prediction today, and I want to talk to you about that.
so
So,
man.
Mr. Crackerjack, man, you said that the Falcons will somehow find a way to squeak out 9 wins. In
Hmm.
your opinion,
Hmm.
is that 9 wins enough to win the NFC South?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Because I think I see splits across the board
Hmm.
in the NFC South,
Hmm.
upsets. Again, walk me through this because we'll go week by week. Coming out, Steelers loss. How you see that?
I'm losing you on the audio a little bit.
How about now?
Let's see. All right, talk to me. What you got?
All right, so week one, Steelers. You got them as a loss. Why?
Typically the Falcons don't win in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not something that I foresee us changing. Plus, I kind of generally liked what Pittsburgh did, as far as like pivoting from the Tomlin era in general. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I think that even though it's not Tomlin that's carrying the torch into this year, there's still a lot of continuation within the coaching staff, and I'm like even on the offensive staff, like Aaron can kind of like let your DKs and your Pittmans and your Darnells and your Fryer Moose know, like, hey, like, this is how this offense works.
Right.
And they should be, at least as far as like installation, they should probably be further along than what I would imagine that we would be. So just off of that, like, I mean, and plus, their defense should still be pretty good. Granted, older, but pretty good defense. Obviously, we're reeling a little bit off of the Jalen injury, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an island of misfit toys on the front seven at the moment, but I
100%.
mean, I think that Falcons Steelers game is probably like a first one to 20 wins, like first one to
Mm-hmm.
17 probably wins, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So and I mean, I just think especially at home for Pittsburgh, that that's just kind of a atmosphere that kind of suits how Pittsburgh grinds out games.
I 100% could see that. Number one, I agree with you. I do think that that's just a horrible draw for the first day for the first week of Kevin Stefanski. But I do think that it's going to be a closer game than I would expect. Probably like a 20-17, like you said,
Something
21
like that.
to 21 to 15 or something. Panthers dub at home. That's whatever. The big one I want to talk to you about is this W against the Packers in Lambeau. What
Mhm.
happens there? Like, there's a couple of these in here, pro, where I'm like, all right, you
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. So to me, this is the spot where you get the random Falcons because typically with LaFleur, outside of like those few seasons with Rodgers, they're not typically hot starters. They're not a team
Hmm.
that just like jumps out the gate and like especially with Love at the helm, like they've never really been a team that jumps out to like a 6-2, 7-1 record or nothing like that. Like typically slow starters out the gate. And I think this is kind of a spot for, Atlanta, coming off the back of the Steelers and Panthers game. Obviously, you get your first home opener, iron out the kinks from that Steelers game, immediately go into that Packers one. Obviously, Jeff has a lot of, I'll say, history with LaFleur and the offense and how it works. I think that we could like of these prime because like we have like three in a row here.
Yeah,
I think that one amongst all of them is the most gettable, in my opinion. That's
that is
that's the
crazy.
one. That's the one that I look at and I'm like, I could see it. I could see us like sneaking out and plus like weather shouldn't be bad in the middle of September.
Hmm.
Thursday night game, I'm pretty sure short week. Let's go get one. Like why not?
I
Go get
mean,
and
they're
plus
coming off.
No Micah in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad, like I mean, for because I mean, like I know, like when we were awaiting the schedule release, everybody wanted the Chiefs early, so we didn't have to see Mahomes. But drawing the Packers as early as we did, not a bad get. Not a bad get.
Yeah, not a bad get. I mean, that's you can't sway me. I'm sorry. I still think that's an
I
L.
get
I
it.
think this is
I
a
get it.
real. I
Yeah.
think this is a really bad look coming out. I think we do get the Panthers at home, but I think that the Steelers, Packers, and Saints all end up losses. I don't.
Mhm.
I don't think we're going to be a good road team this year.
Mhm.
Um, Coming out after that, you've also said the Saints are a loss, but a Ravens W.
Mhm.
Walk me through that because I
See
could
that
definitely
one.
see Lamar doing some nasty things to us, especially without Jalen Walker and
Mhm.
probably James Pierce Jr. as well.
Yeah, and I mean, that one to me because I want to say, and granted, just giving myself room for error here. You could sway me on us getting one of those 2 out of 3 divisional games towards the end of the year to make it 9-8 and give us the Ravens loss. I could totally
Hmm.
see that. But for me, that being, I want to say that one's the Sunday night football or Monday night football.
Sunday
Um,
Night Football.
mhm.
That's right. Monday Night
And
Football is the New Orleans Saints one. Of course it is.
and typically, at least in my Browns watching history, Stefanski's of the division opponents, the Ravens are typically the one that they would get up for a little bit.
Hmm.
So just given that familiarity, obviously Lamar is incredible. That's more than likely going to be a team that's going to be competing for the Super Bowl. But again, it's an early season Ravens. And honestly, that one's just going to have to be a temperature take right there because like sometimes
Hmm.
the Ravens come out and they finish, first in the AFC. Other times
Yeah.
the Ravens, they kind of play with their food a little bit in the earlier part of the year
Hmm.
before they really start taking off in the back half. So, to me that one I can be swayed on as far as like the win-loss result. But I
Hmm.
mean the Falcons do fare pretty decent in prime time at home, at least lately. Now, granted, is a lot of that a byproduct of Raheem Morris in prime time? For sure.
Hmm.
But I do think that, Jeff and Stefanski and, all of them will probably have a pretty decent game plan. Really, primarily, the big thing with them is how is it a Declan Doyle, right?
Yeah.
Is who they hired at
Hmm.
OC. It's really just how they pivot away from the Monken stylings more so into that that iteration that they're running now with Mentor and Declan at the helm, just to kind of see how quick they can start, because like that's something more so like in that Harbaugh era when like those Lamar led teams would really like get up and at it to start the year.
Hmm.
It like you could tell almost from like week one, week two, like, oh, this Ravens team is like a legitimate one. Like it's very obvious because like they would have those. Like I mean, I know at least at the top of my mind, like I want to say that year that they went 14-3 and made it to the AFC Championship game. Didn't they drop like a 50 burger on Miami or something like that in one of those games? Like the Ravens are one of those teams like when they start hot, you
When they
feel it.
start rolling, it gets bad. Yeah, when they start rolling, it gets bad. It's just about when do they start rolling.
Hmm.
And I could see where you're coming from when it comes to like it being an early season game.
Hmm.
Um, it just feels so blasphemous to say that we're going to the top of the Lamar Jackson led Ravens team. But I could see it though. I
Hmm.
could see it. The
We're
the
weird,
team
man.
that
We're
the
weird.
the two games that I thought were going to be the back half of the back two of these three home games was the
Hmm.
Bears and the 49ers. We both agreed that the 49ers is a W. I think that the Bears will have their like yearly let off game. Like that Caleb Williams volatility will come into play there.
Hmm.
That's what I think.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that.
That's what I was thinking more so. But no, I could 100% see it coming out this way as well.
Because I mean, like you
Bucks
kind of
W.
have
Hmm.
a stretch there, like of those, like the three prime times, and then that Bears game, where you have that room for volatility between the quarterbacks outside of Lamar. Lamar's not very volatile.
Yeah.
Primarily Caleb Love and Shao there, where
Hmm.
I could I could see a world where you get two of those, and it just looks really wacky by the end of the year because we'd have these other losses that we're going to get to in my prediction, where it's kind of like, wow, all right, so the Falcons do the classic letdown towards the later part of the year.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Like like one of the games that I don't agree with you on is the Vikings. I don't think that we win that game. I don't see
Mhm.
that one.
Yeah.
I do believe that we're gonna have I think we're gonna have too much of the flip flop quarterback talk at this point. I think that's going to be too
You
much
think
instability at the
that's where
quarterback
the
position
the Tua chatter starts, right? Or like the Tua Penix chatter starts after the bye week?
right after the bye week. And so I believe that because of all the instability at quarterback, I think that we lose the Vikings game, we'll make it well actually like make it somewhat presentable against the Lions. We'll still lose that game.
Hmm.
And I do think we're still better than the Browns and the Commanders, even with everything that's going on.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think the Commanders. This is going to sound bad. I don't think Jaden Daniels makes it this far in the season. I don't. I have no reason to think so.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that both of those are W's simply off of the Browns and Commanders just horrible quarterback luck.
Yeah.
So we get to the end here, three straight.
Hmm.
For, for you, you said you could be swayed on this.
Hmm.
So you say Bucks come into our trap, take over the trap.
They typically do.
They always do.
They typically do.
Saints come in, we send them packing as we should.
Hmm.
We really don't do well in Charlotte, do we?
We don't. We don't.
We really don't do well in Charlotte.
We don't. And it's weird because like in division, typically when the Falcons travel to Tampa, pretty good. They
Hmm.
fare pretty well. When the Falcons travel to the other two teams in divisions home field, not good. It's
It just
typically
doesn't
not.
work.
Yeah. So like, if you're gonna get the other two, and granted, this is also me doing a lot of assuming that like all of us here by this point, because like that's the thing outside of the Saints. if you look at these other schedules for the Bucks and the Panthers, it's just as difficult, if not more difficult, to find
Hmm.
that 9, 10 wins for them as it is for us. Now, for the Saints, obviously they get the benefit of the last place schedule. So, like, two of these games are a little bit lighter in the pants by
Right.
comparison for them. But like, I'm pretty sure Tampa has to play Denver, and then they also got to play. Who else was our extra draws? The NFC East, the Eagles, I think is who Tampa has to play. Where or no, 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 I'm sorry, Tampa has to play. I think it's Dallas, and then the Panthers have to play the Eagles and the Chargers, maybe
Yeah,
as
Tampa has
their
Dallas.
yeah, as their like
Hmm.
additional draws. So like,
Hmm.
you know, there's I really, really do feel like this is going to be the first one to get to 8 or 9. If you can just get to 8 or 9, you probably will have a good shot at winning the division, unless the Saints just take a huge step forward. But based on their recent injury report and how it seems to be going in camp, it's tough, to kind of
I can't
pencil
see
them
that
in.
either. Yeah.
Yeah, granted, I will say when I did my overall predictions, I think I had the Saints as one of the teams with the highest ceiling in the division, just because of that schedule benefit that they got as far as playing all these last place teams mixed in
Mm,
between this gauntlet of a schedule that we're going to have to play.
mm,
But it's we're talking about splitting hairs as far as like the difference between the talent level of any of these teams and really what the true expectation is as far as like floor and ceiling goes for all of these teams. Because like you could just as easily tell me that any of these teams will be a top 10 pick just as much as they would be a playoff team. You could sell me on any of these four teams being somewhere within the top 10 in the draft and being playing on wild card weekend. Any
that
of
it's that meme that our boy Carlton keeps putting up, man. Man, this division sucks. I'm so glad I'm the best team here. Like it's so true because
them.
there's no there's nothing that separates any of these teams from each other. There's not like the quarterback play
Nobody
the
has the
quarterback
franchise
plays
quarterback.
the quarterback plays roughly the same tier. I
Hmm.
mean,
Yep.
the there's pieces all around the rosters that you can sort of point to where it's like, hey, this is where we should build around. This is where we could build around. We're waiting for flashes from this guy.
Hmm.
We're waiting for this play caller to step up. Whatever. There's always questions surrounding each and every one of these franchises, and there's just no necessarily definitive answers. And so we just continue in this limbo of who's going to actually take this division over. And I don't know if anybody's going to.
Hmm.
I don't feel like anybody is truly like I think if anybody has the best chance to, and this is going to sound like a homer take, it's us because we have the infrastructure in place.
Hmm.
Or if the Saints want to, they could as well because they have that offensive line is looking good.
Hmm.
That young receiving core is insane.
Yeah.
But apparently the defense is going to look even better with what is it under year two of Dennis Allen. So
Yeah.
there's reasons to be excited about them as well. Carolina, I don't know. Carolina felt lucky last year. It just did. And Tampa Bay, just seeing the way that Tampa Bay unraveled on the back end, just it really makes me scared to even try to, make that case for them. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
like for like each of these teams, I would say like, if you wanted them to hit their ceiling, more than likely, and just like a team by team basis, the Bucks, you're just going to need Baker Mayfield to simply be the best quarterback in the division, hands down.
right.
Honestly, similar to how he was in all those previous seasons. Like, because Todd Bowles is on the hot seat. That's no secret. Your
Easily.
lead, yeah, like your lead defensive captain is requesting a trade. You lost your star receiver. Like the only thing that's getting you out of this hole really is just Baker being better than every single quarterback in this division, which he has been over the last 3 years or so. It's just can he continue that now without Mike Evans? On the flip side of that, you got the Saints. Now, obviously, the Saints has a lot of the schedule luck kind of falling in their favor because I want to say they're going to
Hmm.
fall. I think the Raiders and the Giants is the two teams that they're going to get to play. And with that in place, of course, more than likely for them, it's probably just kind of the maturation of Kellen Moore and all those young pieces on the offense. I mean, honestly, like they're in a very similar situation to like how we were in the Ritter year, even though
Hmm.
Show showed a little bit more than Ritter did going into this
Hmm.
season. So, like, if you can get all these young offensive skill pieces between Travis Etienne, Chris Olave, I'm pretty sure they still got Jawan Johnson, even though he's not a young piece or whatever. And
Hmm.
all the rest, and obviously the O line is kick ass. Like,
Yeah.
like if you can have all those things culminate under Kellen Moore and really start to blossom, that's probably the way that they hit their ceiling. And then, of course, they've always been, at least even like in the late Dennis Allen era, they've been pretty scrappy defensively. And then of course for
Yeah.
Carolina, it's just how much, because like I think of all of these teams, if there's one thing that you can point to that Carolina has the edge on, it's probably coaching. It's probably Canales being that guy. Like that's probably the thing above all else with the rest of these teams that you can hang your hat on with the Panthers, is that they got Dave Canales, and he's a
Right.
he's a really really talented play caller, and he's a really good coach in my opinion. Um, so to me, like that's kind of the superpower for each of them, and then that obviously kind of leads back to obviously the topic of the podcast, which is the Falcons. Like what's their path to get there, and simply to me, it's as easy as your three, like pretty much for the Falcons, it's simply to me following the money. It is
Hmm.
time for these players that we have paid this absorb. And I'm like, clearly, Matt and Ian and Stefanski have at least some level of belief in the big three that we drafted in the skill positions. And obviously, they got some pretty decent belief in, Bergeron and, most of the offensive line core. Obviously, right tackle pending, like it's time for them to start cashing those checks. As far as
Yeah.
now, granted, a lot of that goes back to how the quarterback play is. But if you can just have Tua, keep him upright, play point guard for these first few weeks of the season, and like you find yourself right around 500, like towards week 9, you probably put yourself in a pretty good spot to close this thing out and see if Stefanski can actually back the car into the garage, because
Yeah.
that's kind of the thing that's always eluded Raheem and Arthur Smith, is that they would get to 500ish by the middle of the year, and we're sitting there looking at the schedule as fans like, okay, we might be able to sneak into the dance this year for the first time in a decade, and we'll be able to steer this ship home, and then boom, 3-game losing streak, and it's like, what's up with that? Look at there is Hunter.
What's up, you ugly bastards?
What's up, dude? Somebody
I
had a
didn't
good
need
night.
that.
It was a fine time.
Mm.
What
It
a
was a fine time.
guy.
What a guy.
Great.
What you guys talking about right now?
My schedule prediction and like the superpower for each of the NFC
Okay,
South.
so that 9-8 was ceiling, right? Because there's no way we actually go 9-8.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
9 and 8.
I can live with the 9-8 ceiling.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, like if I'm feeling really, 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 really good, I'm like 3 bourbon drinks deep. Maybe I could find 10.
I'm thinking
But
like in a best case
that's it.
scenario, everything goes perfectly, 10-7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But then we get
yeah,
ass blasted in the playoffs.
yeah.
Correct. Correct. And I think that that's logical because I mean, there's to find to find 10 wins is basically to find yourself into the playoffs. It's almost like guaranteeing
Oh
yourself
yeah,
there.
10
You
is
can't
the threshold. Like that is it. Like it is 10.
10 you're in. 10
Yeah.
you're in. But I can't find 10 anywhere. And
I don't
what
even know if I can find
uh,
9. Like I think 9's like we luck into some shit.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So I mean it's either you really like hone in on your divisional opponents and you can find like 4 or 5 wins there, or
I
Mhm.
think
you just
realistically
think,
we're. I don't know if y'all have covered this or not, but I think realistically we're 3-3 in division.
That's what
oh
I
yeah,
have as
that's what he's
three
got.
and three.
Okay, perfect. I wasn't sure how much y'all have covered or not covered or what.
Whole season, buddy. Whole season,
Oh,
buddy. We've already
good,
we've
good.
already wrapped it up.
Oh well, shit. Okay.
No, but like we the reason why I say that is because like it's there's no necessarily like there's no easy way to do this because the Falcons are such a powder keg when it comes to like how they come out, what this team could look like because of the quarterback position. But I did want to go ahead and start closing this out because it is almost 11
Dear
o'clock.
God, it is.
It is almost 11 o'clock. I wanted to get final takes. Oh my God, Hunter, I'm so glad you're here. Final
Oh,
takes
hello.
on this Friday, and what did you guys want to see from the Falcons before we let you guys out here?
Yeah, I guess I can tackle it first. For me, the primary thing that I want to see on Friday is, and honestly, it's kind of selfishly, it's going to be more in the second half. I want to see Jack Strand uncork those
Yeah.
hands one good time and just launch me a bomb down the field to somebody. Whether that be Juice Wells or whoever, run that 9 route. I want to see what Moorhead has to offer.
Hmm.
I'm trying to see what happens when he separates these hands. Because if I can get even an inkling of Justin Herbert out of him, oh, we are pushing. We are pushing propaganda like you have ever seen, dude.
My
Is
man
this gonna be
said,
worse than the
"Unleash
Anthony
the
Richardson
dragon."
propaganda?
Oh man, it might get nasty. It might get nasty.
I
Which
want it.
hey, speaking of Thursday, man, right? I'm hyping myself up here. We hold the line on Thursday. We hold the line on Thursday. Listen, hey, listen, don't care what the narratives, don't care about what the talk is on Thursday. JJ, listen, get ready to hold the water. All right. Get ready to hold the water. This shit is ours. Okay. This shit is ours.
Oh God.
That is
Okay.
awesome. So it's true. Like this is your dream scenario, right? But for how this has gone out, for how this has gone, your dream scenario is Anthony Richardson comes out of here, gets gets out of Indianapolis scot-free, and
Mhm.
finds his way into the hands of KOC,
Yes. Yep.
and
Yep. That's
just
it.
that beautiful quarterback incubator that they have. I can't remember who put that out there, but it's a perfect
Mhm.
scenario. This perfect QB incubator that they have just makes Anthony Richardson into the quarterback that he was meant to be.
Yep. And I mean, like we have strongly established that KOC is tired of his mediocre white quarterback. He wants something better. He wants something from Florida. He wants that hot little piece of ass out of Florida. That is what our guy wants. He's been hinting at it for a while. He's coming. He's coming, KOC. We're gonna put some good shit on tape this week. I swear we're gonna. You know what? Honestly, if he puts at least one throw, even remotely close to that Alec Pierce ball against the Texans in his like opening starting debut and his sophomore campaign, I'm gonna trade for him in Dynasty. Write that down. Put it in the quotes. I will trade whatever for him. I have like 4 starting quarterbacks on one of my Dynasty leagues. I'm trading one of them. Malik Willis, get the fuck out of here, dude. We are coming for AR. That's all I got. Absolute cinema.
Uh,
There it is.
Brother,
We're gonna
you're
do it.
holding the line on
Absolute
AR
cinema.
like I'm holding it on Trey Lance. I
That's
have Trey
right, baby.
Lance on a Dynasty Superflex team right now.
Absolute cinema.
Oh God. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to this. The things I'm hoping to see Friday. I hope I see some semblance of a pulse out of our linebacker room, and
Hmm.
I want to see Judas Iscariot, aka Juice Wells. I want to see him cook.
Hmm.
I feel that.
No, no, no bias here, correct?
No biases. Definitely not
Right,
hurt that he left for more NIL money, but
for sure. Oh my gosh. All right. One thing I want to see. I, listen, man. Kobe Bryant. Come on, brother. I need something. Give me something, man. I've been sitting here holding the line for you, man. You sitting here doing math wrong in the mid in front of all of us and God, and just I give me something to where I can say, you know what, man, Kobe Bryant, this is still the guy out of Kansas that was making plays, that was forcing fumbles, that was getting the ball back to your offense. You know, I need something. Give me something to where I can say, hey, this guy right here, this guy right here, you need this guy for your locker room.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's all I've got.
Hmm. Amen.
But
Amen.
all right, man. All right, man. Jack, man, where can they find you?
Um, Over here, well, wait, hold on. I think it's inverted when it posts. So over here,
Hmm.
right there, Cracker Jacks 19 on X. We're gonna try to be more active, do some film.
I can see
One,
Jack's insane opinions on a more regular basis. Let's go.
Beautiful. You know
once.
what? If it's outlandish enough, we might buy the subscription. Who knows, baby? Let's get paid off of it.
This is what I'm talking
Absolute
about right
cinema.
here.
Absolute cinema.
I'm, I'm just letting you know if Anthony Richardson pulls out one of those frozen ropes, I'm immediately I'm turning noties on because this is gonna be it's
I'm
gonna be
clipping
great.
this, and I'm quoting every single Jack tweet with what he just said about Anthony Richardson.
Absolute cinema. It's
Him
gonna
Absolute.
be.
him saying Kevin O'Connell needs that hot piece of ass will be on the timeline more
That's
often
right.
than it should.
That's right. Listen, what's Buddy's name? That's writing the obituary about JJ McCarthy's career in the Vikings. It was Thor something.
Oh,
Thor.
Oh,
Thor
Thor something.
Thor,
Nystrom.
what a
Yeah.
guy!
Listen.
What a
Listen,
nice guy.
Thor. Listen, Thor. We're coming.
He's such a nice guy.
We're coming. We're coming, Thor.
He's such a nice guy.
We're
He's such a
coming.
nice guy.
We're coming, Thor. JJ, pass the controller. We're coming.
If you don't want to play,
We're coming.
Hunter, bro, where can they find you, man?
You can find me right here on Twitter or X or whatever the fuck you want to call it. H Thompson FB. Follow me there. I gotta go. This is outlandish.
Hey, man, you can find me at first name, last name, Saivion Mixon on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, bro. Jack, bro, thank you so much for saving the day again, brother.
Absolutely.
We
And
couldn't have
look,
done this without you.
my best comedy bit. We saved it for 11 o'clock. Look at that. Hey, AR, please, AR, cash these checks, man. Cash these checks,
Hey,
AR. I've been writing them
which
for a while for you, gang. Don't let the elastic band stop you, man. That's even Achilles had to fall at one point.
I loved it, man. This really, this truly is absolute cinema. This is an amazing.
Absolute cinema. Thursday, we will be locked in. We will be locked in. It might only
I
be
hope,
for a quarter, but we will be locked in.
and I hope Friday everybody's locked in as well, man. Jack, thank you so much, bro. Everybody,
Absolutely.
don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you tell everybody if you like what you heard, if you didn't like what you heard, if you got something to say to Jack, me, or Hunter, you let us know in the comments, man. But
So,
we up out of here, man. Have a
yeah.
great night.
Y'all too.